Top gun.
Welcome to the pilot video of Darkrit MTG. I'm your host, Darko. Today, we dive into the shadows of Eldraine with a mono-black commander deck led by the queen herself, Ayara, first of Locthwain. This token-themed deck is packed with aristocrat and recursion synergies that gradually siphon your opponent's lives. Let's explore the strategy and the key cards that make this a high-powered deck. Ayara, first of Locthwain, is an amazing commander for mono-black token aristocrats. With her ability to drain life and draw cards whenever a black creature enters the battlefield, she fits perfectly in a deck that revolves around producing tons of black token creatures and sacrificing them for useful effects. That's an accessible win con and card advantage on the command zone. As a bonus, Ayara's triple black mana cost feeds the deck's powerful devotion cards like Nykthos Shrine to Nyx, Erebos Bleak-Hearted and Abhorrent Overlord. If this game plan appeals to you, then consider playing Ayara. The main objective is to grind your opponents down with relentless incremental life loss by generating a stream of token creatures while Ayara is in play. Leveraging these creatures for sacrifice synergies, recursion engines, and life drain effects, we turn small, repetitive actions into overwhelming advantages. Let's break it down. Ayara thrives on having black creatures enter the battlefield under your control. Casting her early and following up with token producers ensure a continuous influx of creatures to trigger her life drain ability. Almost a third of the deck is dedicated to this strategy. Chief among them are creature cards that spews out multiple tokens upon entry like Abhorrent Overlord, Chittering Witch, Grave Titan, Sengir Autocrat, and the Great Unclean One. They are also prime targets for recursion spells later in the game. The other black token generators are there to keep the supply up, slow but steady. Cards like Bitterblossom, Jadar, Liliana, Tavesh Sat, Ophiomancer, and Lord Skitter are some of the staples in black. Big spells and abilities like Army of the Damned, Crowded Crypt, and Plague of Vermin have devastating synergy with Ayara. The latter being a known 2-card combo with her, and can be most of the time, a finisher. Sacrificing creatures for value is a secondary theme. Since you have a bunch of tokens to use as fodder, you can recycle them for additional benefits. Sack outlets like Carrion Feeder, Viscera Seer, Warren Soul Trader, and Woe Strider are black staples that synergize with recursion engines while providing consistent value. I also included the legendary Yawgmoth for the added card draw and removal. To amplify the life drain, aristocrat effects from cards like Blood Artist, Zulaport Cutthroat, the Meathook Massacre, and Marionette Apprentice ensures that opponents feel the sting of every sacrifice. Finally, I included the new room card from Duskmourn, Funeral Room, because its other half, Awakening Hall, adds a devastating late-game tool to the deck. Our recursion package serves as a crucial backup strategy when the early to mid-game life drain isn't enough to close out the game. Even without going infinite, these cards allow us to apply consistent pressure by repeatedly returning black creatures, especially token generators, from the graveyard. Creatures like Forsaken Miner, Oathsworn Vampire, and 9 Lives Familiar are recursive by their own and pairs well with sack outlets. The new Foundations card, Ozox the Clattering King, is a 2-for-1 when sacrificed this way. Animate Dead, Reanimate, and Victimize are our classic recursion spells of choice. Tonian Nightmare is a repeatable reanimation card that has a built-in sack outlet. It goes infinite, shuffling Priest of Jix and shambling Ghast in and out of the graveyard. Speaking of infinite combos, what makes this a high-powered deck is the multiple ways to build up the combo pieces. Each piece have utility on its own and seamlessly synergizes with the deck's overall strategy. Let's discuss some of the key combos you'll find in the deck. Gravecrawler can be recast repeatedly from the graveyard with Warren Soul Trader, which serves as a zombie, mana source, and sacrifice outlet. With Ayara on the battlefield, the life cost of Warren Soul Trader's ability is offset, enabling infinite life drain against your opponents. If Warren Soul Trader isn't available, you can achieve the same loop using Pitiless Plunderer as the mana source and Carrion Feeder, a zombie, as the sack outlet. The next combo involves sacrificing Priest of Jix to Tonian Nightmare, generating 3 black mana that is partially used to recast the enchantment. With Pitiless Plunderer on the field, Each sacrifice of Priest of Jix and any creature with a mana value of 3 or less creates an additional 2 treasure tokens. This provides enough mana to recast the pieces and keep the loop going. Adding Ayara sets up the unlimited life drain combo. Alternatively, you can replace Pitiless Plunderer and the extra creature with Shambling Ghast or Greedy Freebooter. As each of them creates treasure tokens when sacrificed, this allows the surplus mana to sustain recasting Tonian Nightmare and maintain the loop. The final combo revolves around repeatedly recasting Ozox, the Clattering King or Oathsworn Vampire, using a combination of cost reducers, mana producers, and sacrifice outlets. Free sacrifice outlets, along with cost reducers like Jet Medallion and Bantu's Monument, work in tandem with Pitiless Plunderer to enable Ozox to be cast repeatedly from the hand. Using Warren Soul Trader as the mana producer even negates the need for a separate sack outlet. In the case of Oathsworn Vampire, the same setup allows it to be recast from the graveyard, with Ayara providing the necessary life gain to make the loop infinite. Supporting cards form the backbone of your Ayara deck. While some may not directly align with the core strategy, they provide the essential tools needed to maintain momentum, establish board presence, and ensure your game plan operates continuously. When it comes to ramping, we specifically avoided mana rocks that generate colorless mana. This ensures that we always have the required black mana when it's time to cast Ayara or other spells with multiple black pips in their costs. So alongside the earlier mentioned cost reducers and Crowded Crypt, our ramp package focuses on one-use spells and non-basic land abilities instead. Naturally, Dark Ritual, the channel's flagship card and Black's old reliable burst ramp spell, is a staple in the deck. Culling the Weak also plays a key role, synergizing perfectly with the deck's disposable tokens and recursive elements. Lands, being more resilient to removal, make excellent sources of burst ramp. The classic pairing of Cabal Coffers and Urborg Tomb of Yawgmoth is an unparalleled engine for generating massive amounts of black mana. Similarly, Nykthos Shrine to Nyx leverages the deck's high devotion to black, with Ayara herself contributing significantly. Lake of the Dead offers an aggressive option to ramp, trading a swamp for a surge of mana that can enable our pivotal spells or key plays. Meanwhile, Phyrexian Tower acts as a scaled-down land version of Culling the Weak, offering a sacrifice-based way to ramp. To ensure access to these powerful lands, Expedition Map serves as a versatile tutor, effectively acting as an additional copy of whatever land the situation demands. Together, these cards form a robust ramp package that accelerates your game plan without relying on the traditional ramp methods of other colors. Drawing cards is crucial for maintaining momentum and fueling your strategy. With Ayara herself providing card draw through sacrificing your numerous creatures, the deck's additional draw tools primarily build on this strength. Cards like Erebos, Tevish, Liliana, Yawgmoth, Skullclamp, and Morbid Opportunist turn creature deaths into a consistent card advantage. Braids and Priest of Forgotten Gods amplify this by combining draw with disruption. Finally, Spymaster's Vault and Lethal Scheme offer a unique way to sift through the deck and fuel your graveyard, tying into the sacrifice and recursion theme while providing other tactical benefits. These strategic ways to draw not only complement the deck's game plan but ensure your hand is always equipped with varied options. An effective removal package essentially means you control the battlefield and keep your strategy on track. This deck includes a variety of tools to achieve that goal. For targeted removal, staples like Feed the Swarm and Withering Torment provide flexible answers to Black's weakness to enchantments. Come Back Wrong offers a unique tech in that aside from removing opposing creatures, you can use it on your own and re-trigger their ETB effects. To bypass Hexproof or Indestructible, you can force sacrifices with cards like Siphon Flesh, Blasphemous Edict, and Liliana. Grave Pact turns your own creature sacrifices into devastating board wipes, while the Meathook Massacre serves as both a sweeper and an aristocrat engine. Use this removal suite wisely, targeting only threats that impede your strategy. Together, these supporting cards enhance your Ayara deck and ensure it runs smoothly, adapts to challenges, and ultimately drives your gameplay toward victory. When playing an Ayara First of Locthwain deck, the key to success lies in understanding how to effectively build up your token army while methodically draining life and setting up the combo pieces. This section provides insights into gameplay tactics during the different stages of the game. Your first priority is setting up Ayara and laying the groundwork for her token production synergy. It's essential to play defensively during these early turns to avoid drawing attention to Ayara, leaving you vulnerable to early game aggression. Use her life drain ability sparingly. This is not the time to go wide. Instead, deploy minor token or recursion engines like Jadar or Oathsworn Vampire. At this stage, small paper cuts should be enough to deal with your opponents, allowing you to safely transition into the mid-game while accumulating key pieces to establish a more stable board presence. By mid-game, your board should start applying pressure to your opponents by amplifying life drain effects with aristocrat cards and establishing value engines that reward death triggers. Cards like Grave Pact and Erebos are workhorses at this stage, clearing creature threats and providing consistent card draw. This is possible because, by now, you should have overlapping token producers that fuel your synergies. You should also be just a few pieces away to combo out, so it's crucial to address any disruption your opponents may throw your way that could impede your ability to set up a win. The late game is when you should be positioned to either execute a combo win or finish off opponents with a massive life drain turn. Even if you're not yet at this point, you should have a large token army ready to go wide and chip away at your opponent's few remaining life totals. With your graveyard packed with value cards, a few reanimation spells or a flashback of Army of the Damned could be the game-ending play you need. Ayara, First of Locthwain, is my pet mono-black token commander, and I intend to keep updating this deck as new cards and expansions are released. You can find the full list of cards in the Moxfield link provided in the description. If you enjoyed this guide, have any questions or comments, or want to share your own Ayara strategies, please let me know in the comments below. I am very passionate about this project and wanted to hear how it appealed to you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and join me for more deck techs and brewing strategies here at Darkrit MTG. Until next time.